In this lecture, we will talk about passing arguments to functions. Because a function definition can have multiple parameters, a function call may need multiple arguments. You can pass arguments to your functions in a number of ways. You can use positional arguments, which need to be in the same order the parameters were written when defining functions, and keyword arguments, where each argument consists of a variable name and a value, and a list and a dictionaries of values. First is positional arguments. So when you call a function, Python must match each argument in the function call with a parameter in the function definition. The simplest way to do this is based on the order of the arguments provided. Values matched up this way are called positional arguments. To see how this works, consider a function that displays information about pets. The function tells us what kind of animal each pet is and the pet's name. This is the function describe pets. So the two arguments, two parameters called animal type and a pet name must be assigned when a function is being called. This is the docstring of the description of the function. So inside the function, there are two lines. The first is I have animal type. Animal type is the value. It's the value of this parameter. And next is print my animal type's name is pet name, the title form. The pet name is the second parameter's value here. So when you call the function, you used positional arguments. You just write describe pet, and the type is a hamster, and then the name is a Harry. If you want to describe a hamster with the name Harry, so first parameter, so argument should be hamster here, and the second is the name Harry. And similarly, you can describe a pet is a dog, and the name is Willie. So you cannot change this position. Yeah. So here is order matters in positional arguments. You can get unexpected results if you mix up the order of the arguments in your function call when using positional arguments. So for example, if you write, when you call the function describe a pet, you input the Harry first, hamster second, then you will get the arguments is you will get the print. The result is I have Harry here. I have animal type Harry here, and my Harry's name is hamster. So this is wrong. And the next type of the arguments passing is keyword arguments. A keyword argument is a name-value pair that you pass to a function. So you directly associate the name and the value within the argument. So when you pass the argument to the function, there is no confusion. Keyword arguments free you from having to worry about correctly ordering your arguments in the function call. So let's rewrite a pet's example using keyword arguments to call describe a pet. So the function is written same as before, but when we call the function, we write describe a pet. Here we use a key and a value pair. Key and a value pair here. So we write animal type is hamster. So pet name is Harry. So this will be no confusion for the function call. And we can also describe a pet, and a pet name is Harry, animal type is hamster. We can change the order, no problem here, because the key value pair is very explicit. So the order of keyword arguments doesn't matter because we explicitly tell Python which parameter each argument should be matched with here. default values. So when writing a function, you can define a default value for each parameter. If an argument for a parameter is provided in the function call, Python uses the argument value. If not, it uses the parameter's default value. For example, if you notice that most of the calls to describe a pet are being used to describe dogs, so you can set the default value of animal type to dog. So now anyone calling describe a pet for a dog can omit that information. So we can call this, we can define the function again, right? Pet name in the first parameter, and animal type in the second, but animal type with a default name, default value. If you have default values for some parameters in the function definition, you must put the default value, this parameter, in the end position inside the parentheses. So here, because animal type has default value, so animal type should be put after the pet name. Yeah, so yeah, these two information printed out is the same as before, but when we call the function now, we can just write describe a pet and parentheses and quotes Willie. Willie here is the name, is for the value of the parameter name, because animal type is default. Animal type has default value, so we do not need to input animal type here if the type is dog. We can omit this parameter when we call this function, and the same result will be get if we just write describe a pet and the pet name is Willie. It's more explicit than this calling. So these two will get the same result. Both will have animal type is dog, because this is default value. We can omit this. I note that the order of the parameters in the function definition had to be changed because the default value makes it unnecessary to specify a type of animal as an argument. The only argument left in the function call is the pet name. So Python still interprets this as a positional argument. So if the function is called with just a pet name, that argument will match up with the first parameter listed in the function's definition. So here is the first. This is the reason the first parameter needs to be pet name. The simplest way to use this function now is to provide just the dog's name in the function call. So describe pet, just name Willie. And to describe an animal other than a dog, you could use a function call like this. Describe a pet. Pet name is Harry, animal type is hamster. So because positional arguments, keyword arguments, and default values call can all be used together, so often you will have several equivalent ways to call a function. For example, here we want to describe a dog named Willie, so we can write describe a pet Willie to omit the default value of dog, because this is a dog. So we can omit this input of the parameter dog, just write the name of the dog, and we can write describe pet name is Willie, also omit the dog, omit the type input. And here a hamster named Harry to be described, so we can call the function with Harry name first, hamster second, because here the type is not dog, so you have to input the type here now, but the type should be put as the second parameter here. The name should be first, because in the function definition the first parameter is the name, if we see the previous page. and the equivalent to call is also pet name is Harry, animal type is hamster, and all animal type is hamster, pet name is Harry. These two are keywords parsing arguments, so this is more explicit than the first one, but all three will get the same results. We will show all these statements in an account spider now. We see the Python file, source file called functions, section 7 functions py, and the source file will be uploaded on the GitHub, and the link to the GitHub will be added in the description of this video. So we move to the lecture 2, passing arguments to function. So the example of pet type and its name. So we define this function. Describe pet, animal type, pet name. Here the type is first, name is second. Then we'll print I have an animal type, and my animal, this terminal type's name is pet name. Run. So the function is defined. Then we call this one. Hamster is the type and Harry is the name. Run. I have a hamster and my hamster's name is Harry. And next we'll run this. So I have a dog and my dog's name is Willie. So both the type should be put first. This is the positional arguments when you call the function, because the type is in the first arguments and the pet is the second arguments in function definition. And we use keyword arguments when we call the function. So this will be more explicit. Animal type is a hamster and the pet name is Harry. Run this. I have a hamster, my hamster's name is Harry. And we can change the order when we use the keyword parsing, arguments parsing. We can write pet name is Harry and animal type is hamster here. We'll get the same result. I have a same result. And here we will add the default value in the function definition. So animal type has a default value dog. So if you do not assign the dog to the parameter when you call the function, so the animal type will use the default value dog. First we run the function definition. Then we call this only input are Willie. So I have a dog and my dog's name is Willie. Here we call the function with a keyword. So I have a dog and my dog's name is Willie. Same. And these are equivalent calls. So here the first is a dog named Willie. We run these two. First is Willie, actually the same as these two. The second is the keyword. So I have a dog and my dog's name is Willie. The dog is the same. And the next a hamster named Harry. The three calls will be equivalent. First is do not use keyword, just use the positional. But now the type should be second because the type has a default value and is written after the pet name in the function definition. So first should be pet name. But the second call we use keyword and the third call use a keyword. It's no problem with the order because it is very explicit. Pet name is Harry and animal type is hamster. Animal type is hamster and pet name is Harry. So all these three calls will get the same result. Run. Yeah. Hamster, Harry, name is Harry, hamster, name is Harry. I have a hamster, my hamster name is